What's up, people? What's up, everybody? So, it's Friday night. What y'all doing? Come on now. I know y'all doing something. Wake up. Get your finger out of there. All right. So, basically, this is about me getting out of prison and learning to live out here in society. So, this is the longest I've been out of prison since I was 9 years old. And for most people, that's like unthinkable. But this is par for course in my life. I've been in and out of the system since I was 9 years old. I was put on the streets when I was 9 years old. No, when I was 13. My dad had issues, and I'm saying, alcohol was one of them. And uh, once I stood up, started fighting back because he would hit my mom, he would hit my sister, and I would always get involved, and then we would end up getting into it. And I remember, I was 13 years old, and we was fighting in the kitchen, and this was, okay, we done fought before, and but this time was different because this time Pops got knocked out. We was fighting, and I was dazed, and we standing there, chunking him. And then all of a sudden he went down and was asleep. And I'm at first I didn't realize what happened because I was dazed. I was still seeing stars. But when I noticed, okay, he's asleep. And then I was like, I got scared because like, oh, is he dead? And no, he's not. He's just knocked out because he was halfway snoring. So that's when I realized I'd have knocked him out, But I'm a 13-year-old kid that just knocked out his dad. This isn't a happy moment for me. So usually when I get my ass whooped, go on to my corner and Pops goes on to his bottle. This time it was different because when he woke up and he realized what just happened and his 13-year-old son just knocked his ass out. Oh, he wasn't happy with that. He went and got his pistol. So now I'm a 13-year-old boy with no place to live because Pops and put me out the house. My mom tried to stop him and she got belted for trying to stop him. And, you got to go. So he threw me out the house. And I was 13 years old. I didn't understand. Wait a minute, man. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. I didn't know how to backpedal out of that one. So here it is. I'm out on the streets, and I remember. I'm 13 years old, so I'm a kid, and I got friends, and we play in the canyons. So we had a clubhouse in the canyon in some bamboo trees. So we had brought carpet and cardboard and had little stools and stuff. And that was our, little clubhouse. So I figure, hey, ain't nobody using it at nighttime. I'm going to go on down to the clubhouse, And this was after walking around and not having no place to go. And it got dark, and now it's like I don't know where to go, what to do. I'm 13 years old. So I went to the clubhouse in the canyon. Man, that was the worst night ever. Because thinking, oh, it's okay. I'm just going to lay down and go to sleep in the clubhouse. Yeah, well, the clubhouse was where we would go and play. What really lived out there was all the bugs that climbed on top of me after I went to sleep. Because when I woke up, I had bugs all over me. Freaked me out. I was done. I was done with it. I woke up taking off my clothes, just it's right now, just got me thinking about shit crawling on me and touching me. I'm itching, and it's something you never forget. Put it like that, something you never forget. And I ain't never gonna forget that. But I got past that because life goes on. And that's the thing. But I wasn't fisting to do that no more. So we gotta do something else. So, I ended up, going from place to place, staying with person from person, to the homeboy, let me stay up in the dope house. And he was like, yeah, you can stay here. You just gotta sell this for me. What? Man, shit. I had a job and an apartment. But the homie didn't just use me and just, work me because I was a kid. I didn't know nothing. But he's paying me. He's paying me in dope. He's paying me in cocaine. But I got to sell his first. After I sell his, then I can sell my cut. Because every time I get a package, this is, and this much is mine. So after this much is gone, then I can sell mine. So now I'm just putting my money away. I'm not spending on nothing. Every now and then I get some food or some junk food or something. And other than that, money just stacking. So the homie is happy because I'm there. This is where I live. I live in the trap. And look, I was clocking. We had scanners. We thought we was high tech. This was back in the early '80s, so things was different back then. And people, I know it's hard to understand, but in the '80s in those times, that's when crack was new, and a lot of people didn't know about it, and a whole lot of people got caught up. People that you wouldn't have expected to, be out there selling everything, body, everything they got just to get a hit, chasing that first hit they took, trying to get that first hit back, and you never get it. I personally don't know. These are stories that I've been told from people who have, indulged in the cocaine, stuff like that. Me, I couldn't do it. It just wasn't my thing. I grew up around it. I was raised by pimps, pushers, prostitutes. It was, I was on the street. So it was grimy coming up, and only thing mattered was where you getting the next meal. You know what I mean? How I'm getting, can I make some money? Can I spread my hustle? Can I get something out of this? Because I need to, support whatever habit, whatever I want. It's a whole bunch of reasons people hustle. And me, it was to survive. My homeboy taught me by the time I was 14 years old, I had my own apartment. And I had a crackhead, and he rented the apartment, and I gave him, money orders to pay the rent and everything, and the place was mine. And that's just the way it was. I was up in there, and he was gone. He got what he wanted because, I gave him, here, I give you, some crack. So none of that stuff lasted. None of the money lasted. Because back then it was fast money, and that fast money don't never last because we was out there getting it. But we didn't have nothing. So now we splurging, we spending, we partying, we clowning, we flossing, yeah, man, it was the 80s. The 80s was fun, because it was a lot of stuff going on, and it was crazy. I was in the streets, and I don't knock my past because my past is what made me who I am. And if I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I am happy. I am comfortable with myself. I'm, comfortable with who I've become. over the years, and it took a long time for me to get to where I am. And I'm still working on it. People don't understand, you know what I'm saying? When I say I'm still working on it, I'm still working on it because I got issues. I've been in prison for over 20 years. That's a little less than half of my life. And that's a lot. So a lot of the way I think and the way I do things are because of the things that I went through. So I know how to deal with, certain situations, but now, I've been on the streets. This is as long as I've been out of a cage since, well, my first incarceration. I was 9 years old. But it in what, in about another 6 months, I'm gonna be out 9 years. So that, that's a record for me. That's the longest I've been out since I was 9. And the symbolism, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Mm. But nah, I don't really give much attention to that. But no, just clowning. Uh, I've been out and I've had struggles. I've had situations, and one of the biggest things for me, because like I'm a man and I'm a man's man, and there's certain rules to, you know what I'm saying, and I had to ask for help. I got to a point where I got into, you know what I'm saying, I had to ask for help. So that was a difficult thing for me because it's hard to ask somebody for help. I take care of myself. I've been on my own since I was 13, so I'm not I'm not one to ask nobody for nothing. If I need something, I'm gonna go get it. And you can believe that. So now I'm out here in the real world and I'm doing things differently. I got a job. I got a career. I got a career. I've been in the same industry for, well, I'm hoping, you know what I'm saying, I got 2 more years, well, a year and a half, and I get my 15-year watch at the company. But the company, they take care of you. You know what I mean? This is the best company I ever worked for. Like I said, I've been here almost 15 years. But they bridged my time because, I was here for 5 years and I learned a lot and they got me certified in a lot. But then I made a mistake and I had to go back. And I went and did a vacation with the state of California. So I did a vacation with the state of California for 5 years and came back home. And as soon as I came back home, they put me back to work. They put a car up for me. They, what I'm saying, kept in contact. If you need anything, let me know, and I don't like asking nobody for anything. So that's not my thing. But the company that I work for, they've stepped up. They've been there. It was a situation, I was working, I was out of town. I was working in Santa Barbara, and I got word that my mother was in the hospital and she was in a coma. And if she didn't come out the coma, she wasn't gonna make it because my mom had a DNR. If anybody don't know, that's do not resuscitate. My mom just didn't want a machine to keep her alive. That wasn't the way she believed that, you know what I'm saying, when it's time to go, you know what I'm saying, that's God calling her home. So she don't want nothing trying to stop that. So it was her choice. So I was in California and she was in Idaho. No, she was in Washington. Yeah, she was in Washington. And I ended up, the company, I was out of town. So the company helped me out, you know what I'm saying, put me on a plane and took care of the arrangements and shot me out to Washington, where my mother was in the hospital in Spokane, Washington. I stayed with my sister and my auntie. They live. My sister lives 60 miles outside of northeast of Spokane, Washington. So she's out in the boonies. It's 20 miles just on a dirt road to get to her property. I ain't never been out there. I'm a city boy, so I mean, I'm lost. And the trees out there, huge, giant, man. Look, her house is set up on a hill looking over a split Y valley, and then you got trees, and then there was like a light powder of snow on the top of the trees and little on the ground. It was beautiful out there. The air was so clean you could taste it. It was beautiful. Uh, I was able to spend a couple of days out there, but I got off the plane. It was 7 degrees. My sister was telling me that it was warm because it wasn't in the minuses. It was 7 degrees. She's talking about, yeah, you lucky it ain't in the minuses. I don't know. I couldn't do it. Man, hey, that's cold. I'm a Cali boy. I'm born and raised in Southern California. This is all I know. What you mean? I'm used to going outside on Christmas and it's 65, 70 degrees. Man, I ain't playing. I got a convertible. I got the top down, you know what I'm saying? Got wind in my hair. Couldn't tell me nothing. Man, but that's the way it is. That's the way, I'm saying, it was, and that's the way it will be because the convertible's still here. Yeah, coming back soon. Yeah, but your boy is blessed, man. I'm saying, the family's growing, life keeps getting better. You know what I mean? I'm back at work, so had shoulder surgery, you know what I'm saying? Came back 100%. It's been a year. Next month in June, it'll be a year since I had my surgery. I've been back at work for like 6 months now. I'm good to go, feeling good, came home, you know what I'm saying, did a little workout and then the wife fed me. Wiped the whole workout out. It's all on my belly right now and I don't want to move. It's all my wife's fault. Blame it on her. She keeps calling me her pillow. I just told her, you got to stop stuffing me. Yeah, we know that ain't going to happen. Anyway, like I say, life keeps getting better. I've been through a bunch of stuff. I've been shot. I've been stabbed 13 times. I drove a quad off the side of a mountain, broke my back in 2 places. I did over 20 years in the California prison system as a white crip. Who does that? It ain't many. It ain't many to walk in, you know what I'm saying, from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 4 and then back to level 3 and then, you know what I'm saying, to go home after, you know what I'm saying, doing all those years. But, I'm still here. I'm still here. I figure somebody kept me here for a reason. So trust and believe the man upstairs is watching over. And like I say, I'm blessed by the best, praying for the rest. Because so far, this is the best life that I've ever lived, and it keeps getting better. I know that there's more to come, but I don't know. I'm just thankful. I'm just grateful to be. Every morning I wake up, I got breath in my body. You know what I'm saying? It's so many people that I grew up with, that I've known, that I was raised with, that ain't here no more. And it's sad because there's so many people that are younger, my age or younger, that ain't here no more. And it's like, it's more people. We're gonna lose more people. I don't think the world wants more people. I don't know. I think it's some evil forces that are trying to do what they want to do. So what is that saying? The only time evil prevails is when a good man stands by and does nothing. So, yeah, I mean, be a man and stand tall. That's all we got to do as long as everybody, I'm saying, they keep trying to bait us and, look at this. Look at this. When they feeding you that information, I'm saying, think the opposite. Think about it because they're setting you up. What are they setting you up for? Because you got AI, you got all kinds of, this media, the social media. Look, I'm part of it. Hey, but this is crazy. Just a little I know and I don't know nothing. But from what I'm learning, look, turn your TV off. Don't watch this. Don't watch TV no more. Man, look, the government got me so freaked out. I'm scared of going to the grocery store and buying groceries because everywhere you go, they're spraying poison on your vegetables. You know this? Have you seen this? I've done a video about it. Go check it out. Poison on your food. This is real, people. This is foul. It's a lot of stuff, that's coming to light that a lot of people didn't know about. Go check out the video, poison in your food. It's a short one. It just, if you don't believe me, go around to the stores that you shop at. Where do you shop at? And here's the thing: be sneaky. Go over there and look at the vegetables. I walked into one just trying to, saying, okay, let me see what's going on. And then they had the sound effects, and it sounded like thunder and lightning. Then there was a little light that started flashing. Excuse me. Not bad manners, just good grub. So the little light is flashing, it's supposed to be lightning. And then all of a sudden the thunder, and then these little sprayers start spraying out this mist all over the vegetables. And this is in the vegetable aisle of the grocery store. Now, which grocery store? I've checked Smart and Finals, Vons, Albertsons, Walmart, of course, Whole Foods, even Whole Foods. All of them got this, and then they try and hide it by putting boxes up on top of and they're just there just to block so you can't see. But I'm kind of tall, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna grab and move the box. In the video, I show you, I show where the stuff is at and how they're spraying it onto your food. I even showed a little sound effects with the thunder and lightning. Go check out the video, poisoning your food. This is real, people. We got to do something. If we don't say nothing, then ain't nothing going to happen. If I'm the only one that says something, if I'm the only one that feels like this is wrong and I don't want this in my food, if you don't want poison in your food, then you need to speak up. One person can't do it. But if everybody gets together, then, we got power. That's how they say, one finger by itself, no, but you put them all together and you can strike a mighty blow. Anyway, look at the video, poisoning your food. Like I said, I've been out here. This is the longest I've been out. I just came back 2 weeks ago. I went, me and the wife, we went to Lake Pyramid. We went camping and fishing. 2 days. Well, we was up there for 4 days. So 3 days. Yeah, I think 3 days. So Lake Pyramid, we went up there. Go check the video out. I did a video, Lake Pyramid. Go check it out. But man, life keeps getting better. This is the summertime is just beginning, the season, I'm looking forward. I'm planning on doing trying to get up to Yosemite somewhere. I only been one time, but it's about that time where I go stretch my legs and do it again. Cause I don't know, it was a trip because I went out, me and my wife, we rented an RV and we drove and went up in the Yosemite, and I did a video about it. Yeah, I did a video about Yosemite. Go check it out. But the Yosemite trip, we took a RV and we went out and we went up into Yosemite National Forest, and we hiked the Yosemite Valley from one end to the other. And then, you know what I'm saying, had our little snack and took a break, and, you know what I'm saying, then, you know what I'm saying, had to hike all the way back to the car. Hey, but we had a blast. It was beautiful. It was a trip. We ran into one guy. This guy was sitting out there, and he was on a lawn chair, but he was in looking through looking into a periscope, into a telescope, and he was telling us how his brother camped out on the side of the El Capitan Mountain, and he's climbing the mountain, and he camped up there on the side of the mountain. That's crazy. But this dude, you know what I'm saying, he was camping down at the bottom, watching his brother and, you know what I mean, there for support. But it's like, man, you know what I'm saying, the view, the just being out there, and, you know what I mean, it's a magical place. It's so much. I don't know how to describe it. I don't have the words, because me and my wife, you know what I'm saying, that was my first time ever going there. I've heard about it. I've seen it on TV. I've seen pictures of it, stuff like that. But experiencing something firsthand is different. Now when we first got there, it had been a fire not too far away, so there was still smoke in the air, and so. But the second day that the winds came in and blew it all out, it was clear, it was beautiful, sunny skies. I got to do some fishing, caught a big old trout. Oh man, had a blast. Me and the wife did hiking, camping, everything. We had a blast. But we experienced a lot. We spread ourselves around, did a bunch of different stuff. And it was all about the experience. That's the thing. And one of the funniest things that I remember, and most of the roads out there in Yosemite, they follow alongside a waterway, a river, or something like that. So I know one was the Merced Rivers, and we was driving along the Merced River, and I'm saying, we were in the RV, so I'm driving, and my wife is in the side door, looking out the window, looking at the water as we're up on the road driving past the river. And then all of a sudden she hollers up, "I see fish! I see fish!" Uh, hey, the trip, one of a kind. That was, I'm saying, but that was our first trip, but it won't be our last. So that's the thing. It's about time we get back up there, go do a little fishing, a little camping, a little, experience the ambiance, which is Yosemite. People don't. That's crazy. I'm saying, because people are like, it's Yosemite. Yeah, I know. But my mother, she, I'm saying, she always called it Yosemite. And she knew how to say it too. But, I'm saying, it was funny for her to mess with people. And I knew, but everybody didn't. And they would think she was serious. And it was a good joke. But Yosemite is what it is. But yeah, I'm saying, me and my wife, we made a trip out of it. It was something. So now, it's we got to do something else, because like I said, we just went up to Lake Pyramid, and the one in California. I found out there's a Pyramid Lake in Nevada by Reno, up there somewhere. There's a big lake, and it's called Pyramid Lake. But this is the one, Lake Pyramid, off the 5 freeway in the Grapevine, near Gorman, going over the mountain. And me and the wife, I'm saying, we spent a couple days there. I did a video, Lake Pyramid. Go check it out. But yeah, I'm saying, it's so many times that I sat in a cage, in a prison, in a cell, in a box, in the hole, looking out the window, trying to see a star. just wishing I was out somewhere away from everybody. And now, you know what I'm saying, can't nobody stop me. Man, you know what I'm saying? When it's time to get some wind in your hair, you got to get some wind in your hair. Go out there, live life, enjoy. You know what I mean? There's so much and so much to do. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see, keep watching. You want to see? Keep watching my videos. I'm going to start, you know what I'm saying, showing y'all what I do when I do what I do. Because I do what I do when I do what I do. You know what I do? Let me know. So yeah, it's going down, man. So yeah, it's been a long time, and we still going. We just getting started. This is the beginning, and I don't know. I don't know where it all leads to. Hey, every morning I get up and ask, show me what you want me to do and give me the strength to get it done. So, he leads and you know what I'm saying, I try and follow. I'm you know what I'm saying, still working on it. He knows. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to do my best at everything I do. Everything I do. So I'm doing YouTube now. So I'm going to try and do better. I know, you know what I'm saying, I ain't had a lot of time and I ain't done as many videos as I used to do, but that was when, I had a little more time. So I'm going to be trying to do more. Just work with me, bear with me, all right? But yeah, go check out that Pyramid Lake. It's a good one. Anyway, that's enough for y'all. It's Friday night. I got plans. Y'all have a good one. Stay safe and do something. I don't know. Enjoy yourself. What you giggling about?